He was the lead singer of rock band Survivor. He was the voice of The Eye of the Tiger, the theme song for the film Rocky III, and #1 on Billboard charts for 6 weeks. The song won a Grammy Award for Best Rock Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocal. He was the singing voice behind the most award-winning radio campaign in advertising history, Real Men of Genius, for Bud Light Beer. Today's guest is Dave Bickler.
Welcome to the Better Each Day podcast radio show with Bruce Hilliard. Today and every day, reaching out for innovative ideas in every way. Today's show is brought to you by your future. It comes with a lifetime guarantee. Make a better each day now, baby. Better in every way.
Dave, I've been listening to you for a long time without knowing who you are and what you've done. It's very interesting.
I've had an interesting kind of life there. It chose me. I didn't choose it.
That's always the case.
I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted to be when I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan.
Oh, God, every time, yeah.
And my dad was in horror, and I was like, God, coolest thing I've ever seen. That's been ever since.
Yeah, of course. What's up with their hair? They look like girls. I remember hearing that.
Oh, yeah, it was so ridiculous. Well, what was really great about it was the press was just sharpening their knives for those guys. There's these Brits coming over. They're going to take over. Who do they think they are? We'll make mincemeat out of them. And the Beatles just disarmed those guys, because they were real smart and really funny, and they all of a sudden they were all on their side. It was amazing, the press conference they had.
That was cool. Of course, I can edit anything, and all languages permissible. Anything goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No. Okay. Glad to fucking hear it.
Yeah. Okay. We all know how to do that well. Oh man! So yeah, that was your beginning point. Did you begin playing an instrument? Because you're known as a vocalist mainly, I think.
Yeah. I was, I played the trumpet. In the first band I was in, the 8th grade band. Mm-hmm. I wasn't the singer. I was the trumpet player. My friend Phil was the singer. Not that was definitely not his calling. But in those days we're just kids. You're the singer and you're the bass player and you'll be the drummer. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
But then I was singing like harmonies to stuff, and the guys in the band are going, hey, Dave, maybe you would try singing the lead parts. So that's how I became the lead singer.
I remember how the bands formed. In my case, it was the guy with the PA system. The guy with the PA system was the singer, and if you had, guitar amp, of course, that explained.
Yeah, you had the gear. You had the job.
Yeah, well, who's going to be the manager? Oh, this guy's got a van. Okay, he's the manager.
That's right.
Well, then the next question is, will the parents let you play there and play as loud as we did, just as loud as we could,
Yeah. Well, they put one of the drummer in the band. He had his family was rich, and they had this little summer cottage kind of thing off to the side. But they put us in there or in the barn. They had horses, so we could rehearse in the barn, away from the parents.
You're playing the mother in the house. How was it you came about singing the theme song for Rocky III?
Yeah, It was contracted by design. Sylvester Stallone knew Tony Scotti. We were on Scotti Brothers record, distributed by Epic. And, excuse me, he was asking him about, he wanted for that opening sequence, he wanted to find a band to write him a song. Originally, my understanding is it was originally they filled up. They'll do that where they'll just put some music in there, and it was Queen's "Another One Bites the Dust" that they had laid in for that stuff. But that I don't know if they could get the rights for that. I'm not sure of the story, and it wasn't quite the right thing. You know what I mean? Not the right quite kind of vibe for that. A great song, Queen, fantastic stuff, but not quite the right thing. Biting the dust. So So anyway, you know, those guys saw, you know, the keyboard player and the guitar player, they got some of the movies because he really liked our second album, Premonition. He heard that and he went, oh yeah, I like these guys. I'll see if they can write me a song. So we did. We had to like hurry up, you know, his production schedule's coming, so we had to get it ready real fast. You know, they would shit it for a couple of days and came to the studio, and I'd never heard it before. We were at CRC in Chicago, and you know, walked in and heard it for the first time. And okay, here we go. So we cut the, you know, the music tracks, and then I did my lead vocal, and that next vocal actually ended up being in the movie. They used that one because they needed to do it fast, so they used that track for the movie, for the opening part in the movie. And we recut that along with the rest of the album, you know, at the, you know, LA.
Are they much different?
Not that much.
Because when I hear it, it sounds exactly like I hear it every time I hear it, and you hit the notes every time too. It's incredible. It's high.
You know, I was
It's high.
I was feeling, you know, I knew what to do with that song. You know, I really did. I knew what to do. There's a certain like swing to it that, you know, has to be there, you know, for that rhythm. And so it obviously worked out pretty well. You know, I guess we'll have people come up and tell me that their 5-year-old is their favorite song.
That's great.
So always a new kids to indoctrinate. It's great.
And this came directly from Kenny Loggins. He said that he got the shot at Danger Zone for Top Gun. Toto was supposed to sing. Yeah, Toto was going to do it, and somehow there was some legal situation that came up, and Kenny happened to be around because he brought a whole bunch of other songs that are featured in the movie, and he ended up singing the song.
I think he was the right guy to do that, for sure.
Yeah, that's the only way to hear that one.
Great performance, yeah.
Yeah, so when you get a movie theme song, is it, can you retire? Is that, do you just go to your mailbox and pick up a check, or how does that work?
Well, no, not exactly, because you know how it all works. So,
yeah.
Money it's this songwriter. The way bands worked, then you sign a record contract, right? And you royalties, and you have to make a lot of royalties to make money after you paid back all the money you spent making the other albums. Because this is our third record, and we'd had tour support, and all, we'd racked up, a pretty sizable bill that had to be paid back. Luckily for the songwriters, they don't have to pay that bill. I mean, they'll pay their part of the band's bill, but they actually don't have, that publishing money comes straight to them.
That's the place to be, huh?
Yeah, it's the place to be.
Yeah. So
I mean, obviously I got money. Did get royalties from that, but it's nothing like the songwriters did. Not enough to retire.
So Darklight's your newest release, and it's under Dave Bickler. It's your record.
Yes.
Yeah, that's that just came out a couple months ago.
Yeah, in March. Came out in March.
It's available wherever toys are sold, on Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes, Instagram. Just everywhere. Yeah. I've listened to it. It's just packed full of good stuff. Oh, well, thank you. I mean, I was really pleased with the way it turned out. It took me a while to sort of assemble it, starting with, I knew to start the project that you have to have a great drummer. I didn't have a band, So a friend of mine, Jeremy Holiday over at Sony, recommended Ryan Hoyle, because he knew my music, and he's, an A&R type person, though he thought, he would be good. The guy from Collective Soul, played for Collective Soul. Yeah. And, I went and checked out his website and heard his, drum tracks, and I thought, yeah, that's the guy. So I, went out to California and started recording, basically getting basic tracks, And then luckily, Brad Smith was a friend of his, and part of it, Brad Smith from Blind Melon, who is a great bass player, so he was there handy to help me with that. Mm-hmm. So I had a pretty good solid beginning, and then I just would go back and forth there cutting tracks, until I had enough. I found somebody here too, Stephen Diakoutis. I wanted to basically find a place to mix, but we ended up re-recording everything else, all the vocals and all the guitars and all that stuff. And he just had this terrific studio called Sound Spa Productions, and all this amazing analog gear. So we just had a lot of fun doing that, and that's how it all came to be. That's cool. Are you a big fan of analog? I am. Well, it's digital recording is great, but it's how you get it in there that matters. I mean, he's got a Neve console. I don't know if you're familiar with Rupert Neve 5088, which is just this beautiful, warm, and not too many people have those anymore. Have a for real, console, and then tons of outboard gear. So everything's going through these top of the line preamps, and they provide warmth and punch to the sound. So really makes a difference. Great mics, too. That's cool. I know some people that are, just staunch analog people. I think Dave Grohl bought the system that Nirvana recorded Nevermind on, and it's all analog stuff, and he still uses it. It's from Sound City, yeah. Yeah, that's what he bought. Yeah, I remember it was from Sound City. I don't know the names of the equipment. I'm still... it's just beautiful thing. Yeah, I started out with a TIAC 4-track, and I still have it. It's great. Oh, really? Do you still have it? That's cool. It's great for just putting together a song. If you want to have a couple extra tracks and stuff to put extra parts on stuff. I'm currently working on a digital project that, good golly gosh, it just keeps crashing. It gets to the end of the song and the whole thing just goes bonkers. But, oh no! Are you working on a Mac? Yeah, that's me too. I have to say, my
it never crashes.
This one just did. Just yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I don't know. I think maybe I've just got too much crap on it. I shouldn't be doing the Phil Spector type concept of wall of sound on my Mac.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Counts a little high.
Yeah. For the purposes I'm using it again, I write a lot of songs, and I just like to record them so I don't forget them, basically. So I have them down the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you don't record when you get a good idea, it'll vaporize.
Yeah, so I come up with this simple concept. The song's kind of okay, and then I put Phil Spector in the wheelhouse, and then I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I go both ways. Sometimes I keep it sparse, and other times, it can get more Phil Spector-ish. But what's great working on digital recording is the workflow is so much faster, and all kinds of cool tools.
Yeah.
While still keeping it real, actually performances, and not fixing everything, and not that I won't do that. Like if there's some little thing that is a really, really good performance, I just like the way it feels. I'll certainly make a little correction and but basically I always try to get them sounding like for a vocal, I get it sounding really good, that in my opinion, before I even think of doing anything like that, because I want it to be, I don't know, this certain feel to it,
Fear of the Dark. That's a pretty cool song. That one stood out. I don't know why. It just did.
Yeah, that was a dream. I was watching. I don't know if you seen the movie Wanted. Angelina Jolie. There's a bunch of big stars in it. It's a crazy kind of, Matrix-y kind of film. It's really good. It's really good, but it's Danny Elfman's score, which is really cool.
Okay.
And so I looked at that, and I went to sleep that night, and I woke up with that lick in my head, that sound, and I thought, oh God, I'm sure I stole it right out of the movie. That's what must have happened, but it turned out to not be true, and so I was clear. No copyright infringement there.
That probably never happened anyway. I could just hear Danny Elfman coming up with, no, you took those 3 notes that I invented.
I mean, if something, if something's like exact, you can it's the exact same melody. Yeah, and there's a number of notes that coincide. But I always say that all the notes have been played, but there's still new ways to put them together.
Yeah.
I really believe that. It's endless.
Yeah, a kid around saying, yeah, I use the same notes as the Beatles. You're going to like this.
I just heard something really interesting about that. A friend of mine sent me an email, and I had often wondered about it. Paul McCartney's bass parts were always so integral to the song and so different, kind of, and amazing. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that when they were tracking, that everybody else would go home after a long day because those guys worked really hard in the studio, but he would stay and just work on that bass part.
Yeah, I think they made little acetate recordings sometimes that they could take home, but it was clear that he was spending some time on the bass parts because some of them are almost standalone.
Yeah, it's really hard. Yeah.
A Penny Lane, for instance. Of course, he wrote the song too, but that's incredible.
That first doo-doo, just right there, that had me. When I first heard that record, I was like, wow.
What you just sang is the first note is actually a bass note in the song, I think, before he even sings.
That's right. It is.
It happens quickly. Yeah, you got it. I think you're in pitch, too. Let's talk about another one of the songs off of your album.
They're all kind of about real stuff to me, so it's like there's always a story from every one of those songs, something personal. It's like, or just a thought, like Always You is, about thinking about basically your conscience, it's always there telling you, if you listen, to do the right thing, or try to.
Let's listen to the song The Gift from Dave Bickler's new album, Darklight. So do you write on acoustic guitar, or how do you usually sit down and come up with this stuff?
Usually electric guitar, because writing on acoustic guitar I find is kind of difficult because it doesn't have the range you can play on the guitar. To me, anyway, I'm not good enough. I play well enough to write my parts and track my songs, and then some of those will stay, and then I'll experts will play the hard stuff.
So you're actually laying down tracks and then writing it that way, or?
Yeah, I just make it some kind of idea, a musical idea, something that sounds cool. Again, you pick up a guitar, you can, and I do it on keyboards too. I mean, I do write songs on keyboards, but it's more often the electric guitar. And it's like, you can always find something, you know what I mean? That's like, hey, that's interesting sounding. And, take that part, and usually I'll archive that. I got a little handheld thing to record stuff on. Then I'll go back over and listen to it later. It's me. There's something interesting, and then I'll start to expand on it, kind of like how I do it.
So the part of this interview that I'm waiting for, and you probably know what it is the Bud Light stuff. I've got to tell you, Dave, I have my sense of humor is kind of stopped at age 14. So 14-year-old boy humor.
I remember you said that.
Is where I am, and I just can't help it. So if there's like a dick joke or something you can fit in somewhere, you just put it in no matter how ridiculous it is. But it sounds like you guys had what?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun making those commercials. It was very, very different from anything I'd ever done.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius. Real Men of Genius. Today we salute you, Mr. Hair Gel Overgeller. Mr. Hair Gel Overgeller. Less ambitious men stop with 2-in-1 shampoo, but you put in countless hours, tireless dedication, and a 5-gallon drum of industrial adhesive. Sticky goo! Like a lacquered hedgehog or oily porcupine, what woman wouldn't want to run her fingers through your razor-sharp stalagmites of hair? Or is it stalactites? Wind, water, stray bullets, even repeated hammer blows. Nothing can muss your immovable mane. I've got a hair helmet. So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh master of the moose. And while you're at it, crack open another bucket of goo. Mr. Hair Gel Overgeller. Bud Light beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
I did a ton of jingles in Chicago. Starting when I was like 19 years old, I got into which was really good because they would pay you real money to do that. But they were always, scripts come in, it's etched in stone. It comes from on high, you don't deviate from that. But
from Mount
the real
Sinai.
Genius, all the guys from DDB in Chicago, the advertising agency, all the funny guys would come to the session, and they'd bring Pete with them. I mean, meaning that Pete's already recorded lines, which were cracking me up, because I think Pete Stacker, my partner in that, I don't think anybody can put sarcasm into their voice the way he can.
He's the narrator. He's the voiceover guy, right?
Yeah, the narrator. He's got a gift for it, So we were all on the floor.
So that was.
And then with my lines, they'd throw the script away, and so we start throwing stuff out. The basic thing was, Mr. Backyard fire starter or whatever they Mr. Edible underwear maker, whatever it was. That would stay, but the rest of it could be, anything.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius. Real Men of Genius. Today we salute you, Mr. In-the-Car Nose Picker. Mr. In-the-Car Nose Picker. For you, the daily commute isn't simply a drive to the office. It's a hands-on exploration deep into your schnoz. I'm going in now. With pinpoint accuracy and sheer determination, you dig for boogers like miners dig for gold. Hit the jackpot! And why do you do it? Because the windows are up and you think we can't see you. We can. How you doing? So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh nabber of the nose nugget. We'd like to shake your hand, but you'll have to wash it first. Mr. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
So I threw a couple. I had a couple of my own thrown in too, and I would just try something, and if they laughed, everybody thought it was funny. It would go into the spot. Yeah, but yeah, we made like 220 of those things.
And some of them couldn't be played, right?
Some of them could not be played, yeah. And some of them got into trouble right away, like the discount airline pilot thing or whatever, intimating that, it's unsafe. Well, the Airline Pilots Association went nuts. They're all over it. And that got pulled.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. There was a title for a guy that sells his nuts outside the baseball stadium, whatever.
Oh, yeah, no.
Bud Light presents Real American Heroes. Real American Heroes. Today we salute you, Mr. Outside the Stadium Peanut Seller. Mr. Outside the Stadium Peanut Seller. You stand like a sentry outside the grounds of our national pastime, offering us your salty nuts. Nice and crunchy. Half price on the outside, all the taste. That's your pitch. There's nothing like spending a summer day on a hard bleacher seat, crunching your nuts. Unless maybe it's sitting behind home plate, spreading mustard on your wiener. So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Outside the Stadium Peanut Seller, because thanks to you, a bag of peanuts costs just peanuts. Mr. Outside the Stadium Peanut Seller. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
In fact, yeah, what's like that, I would say, I'd go to those guys, really? Guys, really? Is this going to be on the radio? Because it seems like somebody might object.
Well, they were great, and I played the whole YouTube version. They're just back to back to back all the way. I was laughing my head off. It's about an hour of just hysterical in the room by myself, drying my tears. And I just wondered how you kept a straight face. And you're saying the narration came in first, and that guy wasn't even in the room when you were doing it?
I didn't even meet Pete until we've been doing this the campaign for 4 years. I never even seen him.
After 4 years?
I'm not kidding. And yeah, I was just on the floor laughing, with Pete's stuff, so.
What did he say? Did he have any idea you were going to run with it like that, or?
No, I mean, it was like, I think that Bob Winter was the guy who came up with the original concept, but yeah, it was just different. But yeah, the radio guys loved it. I don't know why, but the radio guys really liked us, and so we'd go to a radio station to do a PR thing, and there's a real minute genius. So we would find something, a theme that was funny for them, or for the city we were in, and make one up and do it on the air live.
I just pulled it up. Yeah, Mr. Gasoline Barbecue Starter.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius. Real Men of Genius. This Memorial Day, we salute you, Mr. Gasoline Barbecue Starter. Mr. Gasoline Barbecue Starter. Never mind charcoal chimneys and easy lighting briquettes. The only way to start a real barbecue is with a gallon of 93 octane and a big book of matches. Light up the sky. Who needs eyebrows? You're hungry, and you've got 7 pounds of lamb shanks ready to go. That's a lot of kebabs. You don't just defy convention. You defy warning labels and common sense. Very low IQ. So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, oh Prince of the Pyrotechnics, because no one makes a backyard mushroom cloud like you. Mr. Gasoline Barbecue Starter. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, Cartersville, Georgia.
Yeah, that did not. That didn't either. The Firemen's Association, same thing.
The Jelly Donut Filler, Mr. Jelly Donut Filler.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius. Real Men of Genius. Today we salute you, Mr. Jelly Donut Filler. Mr. Jelly Donut Filler. Many a night you pondered the question, How can I get some jelly shoved into a plain powdered donut's blowhole? Inspiration and perspiration led you to invent the answer, the Jelly Super Squirter. Late at night, all night, you work your squirter so that we can wake up satisfied and enjoy our breakfast jelly treat. So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Jelly Donut Filler. Nobody else takes it to the hole quite the way you do.
Thank you, Mr. Jelly Donut Filler.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, I suppose you could.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
There's always somebody that's going to be offended no matter what you do. People are. There's somebody that'll be offended at a sunny day, I think. But imagine being a stand-up comic. I mean, yeah, you probably piss everybody off at some point, easily.
I'm sure more than I even know. Some of the ones that didn't get on the air that they did offend, and you know, they just didn't get on. They just didn't get on the air. Yeah, we had. I think, as a matter of fact, I think there's like 120 of them that are in the can of those spots that never got on the air.
Damn. Well, YouTube has 60 of them, and I think they're all like quadruple platinum as far as I'm concerned. Maybe that should be a record.
Well, it's funny because they actually put together the compilations and on their website sold them. 400,000 people bought a commercial CD with commercials on it, which I don't think that's ever happened before. I mean, people buy commercials.
Yeah. If they're good ones, it makes sense. But we just get barraged with pretty mediocre stuff most of the time.
Yeah, no, it was really fun to do. It really was.
The next, I think this week's going to be Greg Kihn, because I recorded him a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if you're familiar with who he is.
I am. No, we did back in, I think it was when we were doing Premonition album. We did some touring with Greg Kihn.
Oh, okay, you know him well.
Say hi.
Yeah. He toured with the Stones for a little bit, and how he got that gig, which was funnier than hell. Prince had it. Prince was the opening act, but Prince came out and did some deal where he's wearing like a jock strap, and the promoter said, I don't think so. And Greg happened to be Johnny on the spot, and he said, you're in.
I'd never heard that story before.
I did until I talked to Greg Kidd. I thought, God, okay. So there's a tip for you, Dave. Don't go on wearing a jock strap. It's just not going to work.
I promise you, my wife won't let me.
It's a good look. Maybe a Speedo, but not a jockstrap.
Yeah, Bruce, it was really great talking with you, man. It was really fun.
I enjoyed it as well.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.
All right, you take care.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Hollywood Plastic Surgeon.
Mr. Hollywood Plastic Surgeon.
Great actors are born, not made. And when they're born with a big, fat, honking schnoz, you are there.
Doctor, can you help me?
It's a tough town that demands talent, and talent can't be bought. But a huge set of distracting knockers can.
Big giant knockers.
A snip here, a nip, a tuck, another snip. It takes less time to cut a major motion picture than it does a major movie star.
Oh, that's Hollywood.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Fake Movie Star Maker. You take the suck out of liposuction.
Mr. Hollywood Plastic Surgeon.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
listening to the Better Each Day podcast radio show with Bruce Hilliard. We'll be back with a new horizon, but until then, honor the future. It comes with a lifetime guarantee.
And we're all just trying to make the next day a bit better.